Hey, hello, everyone. This is Dr. Garrett Smith, also known as the nutrition detective around these here YouTube parts, and we are back again for another Love Your Liver live stream. We've been having a lot of 4-hour live streams lately. This one will not, and I promise people have been getting quite a kick out of how in the last live stream I said we're not going to do a 4-hour live stream today, and I ended up doing a 4.5-hour live stream instead. Many people enjoyed that and they don't mind, and some people complained, and I simply told them your loss and let them go on their way. So anyway, I got to pick up my son at school because he's got the end of school weird schedule now, so I have to pick him up, so I can't do a 4-hour live stream, or else I'll be leaving my son stranded at school. So that's why we got to do it this way today. And then anyway, I need to cut him down. We don't have today will be mainly Q&A. I'm going to go over a little bit about, we're going to have a little office closure for 5 days where we're not going to be shipping. I'll go over that. And then we have testimonials. So we'll probably do those two things first, and then we can get into the nickel Q&A. And I have my suspicions on things that help the nickel detox have been confirmed in my office hours by people who I'm working with directly, who get to talk to me, and Kelsey and Nathan every week. And we now have enough data to confirm what I was thinking, that we'll go over that. So hang on for that, because it can pull you out of the suffering very quickly. So let's get into the office closure. Okay, let me see this. Okay, so we're closing the office, which means we're not going to be shipping. So you can still, Julie's not going to be in the office. Nobody else is going to be working shipping right now. So we're closing on the 20th and through the 27th. Okay, so we will be back on the 28th. Now, what this means for your shipping, if you want to order something and you want it shipped before we close, I've sent out newsletters about this. So if you're not on our newsletter, you might want to get on the go to madnessofmodernnutrition.com and sign up for the newsletter, or you can go to our website, and at the top of the page, there's a thing to sign up for the newsletter. So if you want to get newsletters about stuff like this, that's how you would do that. But the shipping cutoff in terms of for this closure, you need to have your order in to us by Wednesday, May 20th at noon. Okay? Anything after Wednesday, May 20th at noon will not be shipped until May 28th. Okay? Now, good news. So there's the bad news that we're closing the office and we're not shipping for that week. You can still place orders. It's just we're not shipping them. But the good news is we are meeting with a distributor who will hopefully be shipping our products and helping all of the aspects of that. Hopefully we'll be able to get better rates, internationally for you guys, and we'll be able to get into more places. And so that's exciting. It hasn't gone through yet, but we're meeting with them early next month. And so hopefully we won't ever have to have these closures again, because they'll do it every day. And then we can get shipping everywhere that people want our stuff, which is great that people in other countries want our stuff. The bad thing is that we got crappy shipping rates, and customs can be quite a pain in the butt. So there's that. Now, I wanted to get into some testimonials as I do. So Joe, let's do that. Let's go into those. So Joe put the testimonial doc link. That's also in the live chat. We'll put that in the info box below when we're done. So let's just go through these. Testimonial number 1. Now, remember, these testimonials are posted in the Love Your Liver program, which is a private network. These are all true. They're all there. I just don't post names. I know this one has a name in it, but we don't have a last name. So anyway, I do this for people's privacy. It's a private network, but we get permission for all of these, and we just don't use initials or names because that doesn't really add anything to it. So here we go. Some good news from my daughter, Becca. I started taking Nutrition Detective's lactoferrin and molybdenum 8 to 12 months ago. My ferritin was at 27 in September of 2025. However, I just got it checked again, and that number is now 53. So in a little less than 8 months, my ferritin has gone up by 26 points, which I think is pretty awesome. I don't even do all the Love Your Liver stuff either. Dr. Garrett Smith, thank you so much. So there's a really important thing about molybdenum and iron deficiency. Molybdenum is involved in iron. Molybdenum deficiency is involved in iron deficiency and iron overload. Molybdenum is really, really important. If you've never heard of molybdenum, it's really important. There's a reason why you don't hear about it. It's because they don't want you to be well. They don't want your detox systems to run right. They want you to be copper toxic. And I believe molybdenum is actually a nickel antagonist as well. And then lactoferrin helps your body to send iron to where it's supposed to go and take it out of where it's not supposed to be. Now, I also am getting data back from people. If you are low ferritin, particularly you ladies, low ferritin for ladies is below 50. Low ferritin for guys is below 30. If you are low ferritin, you need to get some iron in you, and you need to not be taking zinc until you get your iron up, your ferritin. Until you get your ferritin up to the numbers we want, which is women 50 to 100, men 30 to 70. Until your ferritin is up in there, you're doing iron and meat and not taking extra zinc. Your zinc numbers will stay okay, I promise you. If you have nickel toxicity, which almost all of you do, you need the iron. You need to correct the iron deficiency first. That's really, really important for the nickel toxicity. So don't mess around. Don't think we have the research on this. I've been over the research on this. And I just saw a test come back from a woman who had low ferritin, and I had her just do iron, not zinc, even though she was zinc deficient and copper toxic, very copper toxic. And I'll tell you, her ferritin got better, her zinc actually improved, and her copper improved. So her copper came down and her zinc went up. She did not take zinc. She only took iron. Ladies, especially if you have low ferritin, below a 50, you need to take some iron. Well, I would take some iron and probably some lactoferrin if you can handle it. Do not take zinc during that phase. The zinc will work against your iron. So that includes keystone minerals. So you may, if you want to take selenium or molybdenum separately, like this person did, and not take zinc while you're trying to raise your ferritin, that would be fine. I do think lactoferrin is helpful if you have an iron deficiency too. So testimonial number 2. Well, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. About 2 weeks ago, I injured my knee by tripping over the edge of a sidewalk with my foot. There was no pain initially. About 2 to 3 days later, I was having very minimal pain, and I thought, okay, just be careful. Then after about 2 more days, I was in the shower. Why does everything happen in the bathroom? And I heard a loud pop and almost fell in the tub with excruciating pain from my knee to my foot. I laid down and it got better, but pain started up again. By evening time, I was begging my husband to take me to the ER. Okay, I know this doesn't sound like a positive, but it is. My typical results after walking into any kind of facility. So this is those of you who are fragrance sensitive. Okay, pay attention. That's because you're full of toxicity and you're not detoxing well. My typical results after walking into any kind of facility using heavy-duty sanitizers, I have a headache and sore throat just from smelling and breathing in the fumes, not to mention muscle pain, stiffness, sore joints. I sat for a little over 5 hours in the ER exposed to all kinds of chemicals without any major events happening. I.e., normally my stomach will start swelling, it becomes very hard to breathe, and the ensuing headache, sore throat, etc. I am greatly encouraged. I might be coming along like a turtle, but I'm coming along. The knee will be fine. It was just fluid on the knee, so I'm resting and taking it easy. I'm already decreasing painkillers and muscle relaxers to about every 10 to 12 hours. I'm pushing for none today. We'll see how it goes, but I wanted to let anyone straggling like me keep pushing through. I'm working myself well, slowly, but it is happening. Even though it's a negative, I've made lemonade out of lemons. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. So, folks, we help livers run better. This is what we are doing. We are reducing the toxicity on the liver and giving the body what it needs to run the detox systems. You don't need herbs to detox. You don't want to do nothing necessarily either. Lowering the toxic load on your liver will help, and that is the most important thing. But adding some things to help move the toxicity out of you faster will help too, as long as you listen to your body. Okay? So, think of how chemically sensitive a lot of people are out there. I've actually been over the, let me see if I can find it real quick, the paper on I think it was called fragrance sensitivity. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Yeah. I thought I had this one marked. Joe, is this on the screen? Yeah, we got it. Okay, cool. Prevalence of fragrance sensitivity in the American population. Okay, so this is not nothing. Let's see. So they did 2 surveys. Respondents were asked if they find being next to someone wearing a scented product irritating or appealing, if they have headaches, breathing difficulties, or other problems when exposed to air fresheners or deodorizers, and if they are irritated by the scent from laundry products, fabric softeners, or dryer sheets that are vented outside. Results aggregated from both surveys found that 30.5% of the general population reported scented products on others irritating. 19% reported adverse health effects from air fresheners, and 11% reported irritation by scented laundry products vented outside. Don't you think that if this, this is a legit study, that they should be banning this stuff? Like, this is bothering a whole bunch of people. And if you're a person who wears scented stuff, you're irritating a bunch of people. You're just an irritating person because you smell and you're causing people toxicity. So shower and fix it. I have a whole video on how to stop your body odor. You should watch it. You should stop putting all this toxic scented stuff on your body because it's bad for you and it's bad for other people. So we help fix the liver's ability to deal with it, but that's still the liver's having to deal with it. Your liver especially. Oh my goodness. So between all the things, I mean, oh, ladies, cosmetics, scented crap, jewelry, like literally putting toxic metals through your skin. There's a reason why you ladies are so sick. And I'm not placing any judgments on what you chose to do or didn't do in the past. What I'm saying is if you want to get well, you're going to need to make some choices. You want to be sick and beautiful? Fine. The beautiful is going to go away, and then you're just going to be left with sick. So, and if you're sick and you don't consider yourself beautiful, well, then at least you better fix the sick. And maybe you'll get beautiful as you do that. So, this is really, really important. So anyway, stop poisoning yourself with scents. Stop poisoning your family. Take out oh my gosh, take out those stupid plug-in freshener things, whatever. Oh my goodness, just stop it. Stop it. Get some help. So now I want to give the quick update on the nickel detox. Okay. I had a hint, I believe I went over this in the last 4.5-hour live stream, that PectaClear from Econugenics was the thing that helped me turn the corner on the nickel detox and to reduce my nickel detox symptoms drastically. After I talked to several people in my office hours yesterday, well, actually, it was Kelsey's office hours. I was covering for her. But anyway, after I talked to several people there, it comes to light that 2 of the people in there who had started the low nickel diet right when I first started talking about it, both got on the PectaClear, and they both said that it turned everything around, like everything calmed down. Everything didn't go away, but everything calmed down hugely after that. So PectaClear, just want to be clear here, is a combination. It's a capsule. It's not a powder. You can't buy PectaClear in a powder. It is a combination of PectaSol, which is their specially prepared MCP, modified citrus pectin, and it's 2/3 PectaSol, 1/3 Alginate, which is their trademarked, patented. I don't know if it's patented, but their trademarked Alginate, which is like basically think of it as a soluble fiber from seaweed. Okay, and I went over in the last thing about how nickel and alginate seem to go together really well. Now, if you choose to do this, this is what I'm basically. Well, I'm the label on the PectaClear says for intensive support, 2 capsules 3 times a day. And I believe they're usually assuming you're taking it with PectaSol. I'm going to say for nickel detox, what I have found to be the most effective, and this is what, when people come to me complaining of low nickel diet detox symptoms, here is what I'm suggesting. 6 pills of PectaClear 3 times a day. Now, that whole bottle's only 180 capsules, so that's 18 capsules a day, and you're going to go through that bottle in 10 days. So if you're going to do this, and you're going to do it for a month or 2 or 3, you're going to want to have it around, because when people ran out, like Kelsey was doing it, and I didn't realize that she ran out, and then all of a sudden stuff started creeping up again, and she started having a tough time again. I made sure she got some. She got on it like the next day. Her mood and everything had improved. So I now have I have 4 people now who have testified to the PectaClear calms everything down. So what I'm telling you is the minimum on the bottle, 2 capsules 3 times a day. That's the minimum. I'm going to say that if you come to me and you're like, well, I'm just doing the minimum of the PectaClear and I don't feel any better. Okay, you're doing the minimum. You do the minimum, you get the minimum. You get what you pay for. You want to shut down the nickel dumping detox and feel a lot better? I'm suggesting 6 pills 3 times a day, and you can skip the other PectaSol. You don't have to take, if you're doing that high dose of the PectaClear, you don't have to take other PectaSol. Okay, so you don't have to do that. You may not even need to take apple pectin if you're doing the high dose of the PectaClear. Okay, so we can replace several other things with just the PectaClear if you take a big enough dose. That is my highest suggestion for this. We are going to have the PectaClear and the PectaSol in our store after the closure is over. But until then, you're going to have to get it from somewhere else. So I just had to order some more to get mine before. I needed some more for my buddy and I, because we ran out and I needed overnight shipping, and it takes a while to get the professional shipping done. So yeah, we went, I just got some so we could split a bottle, because he comes over here about 3 days a week to train my mom. So I was like, I got it, dude. Oh, okay. Joe wanted me to clarify. He said that I was saying 6 pills will shut down the nickel detox. No, it doesn't shut down the detox. It reduces the side effects of the nickel detox. Yes. So for clarity's sake, we're not shutting down the detox. The detox is still going. We're taking the PectaClear. The PectaClear does 2 things, right? 2/3 PectaSol. Remember, that's PectaSol, so it's a modified citrus pectin, but if you go and buy some cheapo modified citrus pectin out there, that doesn't actually penetrate into the bloodstream, which we want for this. It's not leaky gut thing. It's just it penetrates, just like you absorb vitamins. You absorb other things through your gut. You absorb nutrients through your gut. You absorb carbohydrates through your gut, like you're absorbing the modified citrus pectin fragments. So if you take regular apple pectin or other modified citrus pectin that has not been chopped up, if you will, it's going to stay in your gut. Now, it does good things there as a soluble fiber. But the benefit of the MCP from PectaSol is that it goes into your blood. It can grab onto toxic metals in your blood and then take those out through the kidneys. There's actually a study showing it improves uranium excretion through the poop in a guy in Scottsdale. That was a case study. So we have that. Then the Alginate, which is their trademarked, I believe it's an alginate that's chopped up a little bit too, but it doesn't go into the bloodstream. Now that grabs onto nickel in your gut, and it helps you poop that out. So it grabs onto the nickel that would be in the bile, and it grabs into the nickel that would be coming out of your gut tissues, because the 2 places you absorb nickel first and store it first is your skin and your gut. So where does it come out of? It comes out of your gut into your gut. It irritates your gut because now it's out and it's floating around. The alginate grabs onto that, and then whatever your bile puts into your gut, and then holds onto it, so it stops causing you leaky gut, and you poop it out, and you stop getting digestive symptoms. So the PectaClear is the big deal. Now, if you want to take more PectaSol on top of the PectaClear, that's fine. If you want to take more PectaClear than I'm suggesting, there's no toxicity associated with modified citrus pectin or alginate anywhere that we can find. So If you want to take more, you can, but that's going to get real expensive. So there's that. Now, the other thing that I have experimented with and had benefits with is if you do get a stomach upset during the nickel dumping or the detox as needed, you can take some zeolite to calm down the stomach irritation. It works really well. Zeolite stays in your gut, and when you know you have nickel in your gut, like you're having active symptoms in your gut, then the zeolite can come in and save the day. So if you're dumping so much that the alginate is not even doing enough, then the zeolite, just whenever you need it, could be really helpful. I did it yesterday, actually, because I was out of PectaClear. That's why I had to order it overnight. So things started creeping back up again. So I'm saying, like, if you get on the PectaClear and it gives you lots of benefits, you're going to want to keep it on hand until you're done with it. And then the maintenance dose, I don't know what the maintenance dose is going to be. It's going to be, the label says 2 pills a day. I don't know what we're going to have to figure this out as we go. This is all, we're just figuring out how to save humanity as we go. So, don't be too rushed with it. So on that note, I believe next week may be one of the biggest episodes that we will do that will establish us as some of the most important people in terrain theory out there on the internet, because we're actually fixing the terrain, but we are going to go over all of the pathogens that it's really like this. A lot of the things we call pathogens, the bacteria and the candida and other stuff like that, they don't seem to get angry. Like, they live there, they're around. Everybody's got candida all over them, inside of them, and all that stuff. And everybody's got Staph aureus all over them and inside them and all that. Everybody's got H. pylori in their gut. Not everybody has ulcers. So why not? Well, it seems that nickel makes bacteria and fungi, including black mold, angry and mean. So the very definition of terrain theory is that, the terrain creates the problem. The terrain feeds the problem. And what if it is very specifically nickel that makes the bacteria and the candidas and the fungus and the yeast and all this stuff virulent, as they say, angry and mean and damaging? Well, that's what we're going to do next week. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting. So all you ladies with, like, let's say recurrent E. coli infections, your UTI infections from E. coli, and stomach ulcers from H. pylori, and Shigella. Nickel makes it angry. Candida, literally have a paper that shows that's in the title, Candida, bioaccumulation of nickel. Like, literally in the title, it's accumulating nickel. So in a way, it may be helping you, kind of like the parasite episode we did, where the parasites are storing ungodly amounts of toxic metals. And so as you get rid of these toxic metals, the parasites just die off because their terrain is not good for them to live anymore. And then they go away. So now we'll be fixing, parasites and bacterial infections and fungal infections and mold. Like, literally, black mold loves nickel. Weird. So, yeah. So that'll be next week. That one might be a 4-hour one. Maybe I'll break 5 on that one. I don't know. So anyway, that's what I have today. So, the testimonials. I got to finish the testimonials. Sorry, we got more. Okay. So, testimonial 3. This is a long one. I've been meaning to post a testimonial for a while, but have been a bit reluctant to, mostly because I have been in a constant flux between disbelief and absolute elation. I don't want to jinx this, so to speak. However, some universal magic involving Beth Martins yesterday made me bite the bullet and share my hero's journey. Pay close attention. My major symptom is grand mal, aka tonic-clonic seizures. These are the dramatic ones you see in Hollywood films. Like many types of seizures, they can kill you. I've been living with seizures for 40 plus years. My first seizure was 45 minutes after the MMR shot in 1980. Toxicity. Yep. Since then, I've developed and been diagnosed with / medicated for vitiligo, eczema, anxiety, OCD, ADD, Epstein-Barr virus, depression, body dysmorphia, sleeping issues. All this by the age of 20. Wow. I felt horrible and knew there has to be a better way. This is when I started to do my own research. The internet was new and opened a world of new possibilities. People with epilepsy are desperate. So much so that we are routinely experimented on, both by Big Pharma and its sneaky natural sidekick. I got sucked into the natural health world big time. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars to learn and train with some of the top health doctors in the world. Like she puts quotes on there. I traveled across North America to learn from them and buy their products and protocols after years of detoxing, eating all the expensive vitamins and herbs, CBD, essential oils, juicing, low carb, high fat, fully organic, tons of yoga, acupuncture, massage, wellness retreats, you name it, the seizures would always return. Up until recently, I was even living / working on an organic farm in the organic capital of Canada. I was teaching yoga and beekeeping. I can't think of someone who lived a cleaner life, yet I was developing Raynaud's, and my period was becoming a total disaster. I posted last year about this. I had zero energy to pursue my musical passions. How was I possibly getting worse? Enter Dr. Smith and LYL. Yay. Okay. I'll get to LeBrad's super chat in a second. Working on the organic farm allowed me the ability to listen to podcasts, and I learned about Dr. Smith while listening to The Way Forward. I do want to thank Alex Zek for having me as a guest on The Way Forward. It brought lots of people here. The sad thing is that it was too far out for his most of his people, and they scared him into not pursuing this anymore. So once I do this low nickel thing and I go over the nickel and pathogens thing, and Alec is a huge terrain theory guy. If any of you want to go out and mention to him that he should watch this episode, that would be great. This was October 2024. I will never forget that day. It was the day that everything made sense. All my health issues linked together. I listened to that episode 7 or 8 times. I took my last pill of valproic acid that day. I was already experimenting on myself for years with being fully med-free and was on a, quote, non-therapeutic dose. I then started binge listening to the live streams. I found the episode on epilepsy and listened to it around a dozen times. So many light bulb moments. I started Love Your Liver very slow. Simple diet changes. I eliminated high vitamin A and high copper vegetables. I added nothing but magnesium lotion, charcoal, and some oral magnesium to offset the charcoal with the chuckling and sweating emoji. And I quit all my other herbs and supplements. I began eating barley regularly and eliminated dairy, eggs, and anything with aldehydes immediately. I had small improvements in sleep and digestion. These small changes also decreased the severity and duration of the eczema I experienced, and PMS symptoms improved. At this point, and for the previous 7 years, I was having seizures every 3 to 5 months. I then began implementing more of the supplements, etc., in the order of adding things last June. That's inside the program. That was my last seizure. I am 1 month away from being a full year seizure-free. Hold on. I like to knock on wood. I'm going to knock on wood for you. I have never gone this far ever without a seizure, without medication. I no longer have eczema. I no longer have Raynaud's. That's Rawnauds. That's the way they spell Raynaud's. Flare-ups. I no longer snore. My period has improved immensely. Still working on it. My digestion has improved. Motion sickness has improved. Chemical sensitivity has improved. We already had another testimonial of that earlier. Mood has improved. All this during the most stressful and challenging time in my life. Last August, my mother had a terrible accident. I had to leave that organic farm life for urban insanity to take care of her. I posted about my hospital experience last year and was shared in the live stream. A month later, my uncle had a stroke. He was like a father to me. Then his wife, my aunt, died suddenly. Then I was left caretaking for both my uncle and my mom while trying to navigate moving across the country. Whew. Then my boyfriend got into a car accident that totaled our car. Thank God he was okay. And then his grandmother passed away. And then my uncle died. All within 6 months. I am still taking care of my mother and will be for the rest of her life. Stress is the #1 seizure trigger. Everyone with epilepsy knows this. I didn't have a single seizure during this time. No medication. If I wasn't on the Love Your Liver program, there would be no way I would have been able to take care of my mom and the rest of my family when they need me the most. I don't know how I can thank you enough, Garrett Smith and Kelsey Kenny. She was tagging us in that. P.S. Pay attention here, folks. MSG has made a massive difference. Thank you, Kelsey, for bringing that to the program. Please consider me for your documentary, as I want to share far and wide the work you are doing. We are working on some sort of film / short documentaries. What we're working on it. If you're in the Love Your Liver program, you can find the post on it. So enter Beth Martins. Dun, da, da, da. A great thing about Love Your Liver is the networking and the amazing minds who are drawn to this information. One of those being Beth. I have really enjoyed her being a part of this group, and I have listened to a bunch of her podcasts. I noticed she started her group yesterday, which led me back to her podcast that I haven't listened to in a while. Imagine my surprise when I saw her newest episode interviewing one of my most important and influential musical mentors, Roy Wooten. I had the honor of receiving a year's worth of one-on-one mentorship from him a few years back, and he has kept in touch with me. Last time he messaged me was to send me information about epilepsy he thought would be helpful for me. I told him I was working with an amazing doctor, Dr. Smith, who was helping me. Epilepsy and fear has prevented me from stepping fully on my musical path. That and a strong father wound that needs to be addressed. Like Dr. Smith says, he can help with the physiological issues, but Beth is better suited for the spiritual and emotional healing. Yeah. Her podcast with Roy just shifted my emotional healing into overdrive with the same intensity as the day I listened to Dr. Smith for the first time. What a profound conversation, so much wisdom weaved through it, the way only future man can do. So here I am, choosing to use my voice and speak my truth. I'm feeling ready to finally step into my power, which is what true health really is. I couldn't have done it without this community. Bless all of you on your hero's journey. Amazing, amazing stuff. So this is great. I'm getting goosebumps. So I want to just say a couple things here. One, it's that epilepsy episode. I mean, having someone fix their grand mal tonic-clonic seizures is a really big deal. I have a little thing about that epilepsy episode because I did that episode. There was a guy at my gym who I believe had literally had brain surgery for his seizures. He has a scar on his head, and his name is Garrett. Thought it was really, really, coincidental. And I told him, I'm going to do an epilepsy episode. And I was doing it for him. And I think I mentioned him at the start. I don't believe he's ever watched it, which is his loss, because I heard he told me the other, a month ago at the gym that he'd had another big seizure and he was now on another medication. And I didn't want to rub it in and go, well, hey, I did that epilepsy episode. You should go watch it again. I'm just kind of like, I put it out there. He knows it's there, but it's benefiting other people, which is the best thing. So yeah, I think we had somebody else who was saying they didn't have, I think recently we had another person say that they weren't having seizures anymore. So yeah. And then about the, I want to plug Beth's new Deprogramming Your Health group that is inside the Love Your Liver program. She's doing it once a week. It is completely free to Love Your Liver members, and people are really enjoying it and speaking very highly of it. It is a small group thing like our office hours, but you don't have to be a consultation client. It's just for everybody in the Love Your Liver program. So if you guys want to go to it, I highly suggest it. I've done a couple private sessions with Beth, and I really, really, I wouldn't have her doing her stuff in the Love Your Liver program if I didn't trust her and believe in her work. So that's available to Love Your Liver people. Just another benefit of being inside this community. So, because I do my detox thing. I work on my own mental, emotional stuff. I know what I'm good at, and helping other people with that stuff is not my thing. I'm kind of like, my tism. I'm very internalized, and I'm not good. I'm not that great at dealing with other people's, emotional energy, whatever you want to call it. That's just not my thing. So I don't do it. So I let people like Beth, who are good at it, do it. Know what you're good at. Stay in your lane. That's what I do. Okay. Testimonial 4, nickel testimonial. So we're getting into a little bit more about the nickel diet and the detox. Okay. So I've been in the Love Your Liver program almost 3 years now. In the last year, I've gained 10 pounds and haven't been able to lose it. We're figuring this out now. I thought maybe I was eating too many carbs. So after Easter, I cut out my daily morning oatmeal for a pure protein breakfast. Looking back now, I can tell I definitely went through a strong nickel detox. Horrible headache for 2 weeks, runny nose, intensified severe muscle/joint pain, sharp ovarian pain, so bad I couldn't sleep, super fatigued, moody. Then Dr. Smith started his live streams on nickel, and I put the pieces together. So again, go back and watch episode 250 about the low nickel diet and the detox. She didn't even know what she was doing. She took out oats and she started dumping nickel. So now she figured it out. I mean, we figured it out. And she's putting the pieces together going, yeah, my buddy started his strong nickel detox. He switched his pots and pans. He took out his daily oats and he switched his hamburger buns. That's all he did. And he started just dumping stuff like crazy. So yeah, it's serious. I had already started supplementing B1 to help with the fatigue during the oatmeal detox. So she didn't know it was nickel yet, but she started B1. Now, I don't think B1 is necessary if you do the PectaClear. If you want to do some B1, 500 milligrams, maybe a day of thiamine HCl, but I don't think it's necessary. After listening to Dr. Smith, I added apple pectin powder and the BioGaia probiotic. Not bad steps, yeah. The apple pectin really helped with bowel movements. I struggle with constipation and rely on Mag Ox to help keep things moving. I was able to stop the Mag Ox after starting the apple pectin. The BioGaia stimulated me to have 2 bowel movements a day, but the bowel movements strangely reverted back to constipated, like pebbly and more difficult to pass. But I'm pooping more often, so I guess that's still good. Let me go over that. Okay. Those of you who go through the low nickel diet and the detox, your pooping is going to go up and down. There's going to definitely be episodes of constipation. There may be some episodes of loose bowels. You may or may not be able to make it move much more. Nickel is so toxic that you can't, if it's coming out and it's doing its thing, the only thing you can really try to do is soak it up. That's what the PectaClear is really good at. And then it also kind of acts like a fiber. So it's a fiber that's grabbing onto the toxic nickel and it's helping you poop. So, but you may still have ups and downs with your pooping. So, but this was before we were talking about the PectaSol and the PectaClear and all that stuff. So she was likely just still going through the nickel dumping. This is normal. Since I already inadvertently started down this low nickel path, I figured I might as well keep going. I never ate a lot of beans since they bloat me so badly. That was my issue with them a bit. So the next change I decided to make was switching out my stainless steel cookware for the Home Chef. Day 2 started the detox symptoms from that change. 2 to 4 days. Not as bad as the oatmeal detox, but I think it's because I have some buffers this time. Symptoms are headaches, but much milder, fatigue, moody, depressed, stiff and achy. One day I was so stiff and achy I could barely move. Kelsey said that one day. She was like, I hurt all over. This stuff is so toxic, but your body, I want you to understand, folks, is more bad symptoms during the nickel detox good? No, okay. If you have no, as she said, buffers, it's not a buffering thing. It's not an acid-based thing, but things to help with the process. As I've said before, you can do the low nickel diet with nothing on board. And there's a person in the comments here who has said, oh, I just upped my water and I was fine. And that's kind of like the people who are like, oh, I eat whatever crap I want all day long, every day, and I still stay thin and healthy. Like that's a genetic freak in a good way. I mean, the freak in a good way, but that's not most people. So we have lots of people who are going to have, and also I'm going to say this, some people who aren't suffering through the low nickel diet very much, they may have nickel in their diet or in their environment that they're not accounting for, and that is why they're not detoxing as much. So we have lots of reasons why somebody might not be as toxic in nickel as somebody else. They may also be young, male, not that sick, stuff like that. So younger guys, if you're trying to talk to like a 60-plus-year-old lady about the nickel detox, you should watch what you're saying because you probably can't relate. Okay? This is the way it's always been with detox. Like men trying to talk to women about detoxing, they don't get how rough it is on women because ladies, you're just slower at it and it's harder for you, and that's just the way it is. I can't change that. I can admit it and accept it and tell you that it's going to be that way and that you should take your PectaClear. and go through this slowly. So watch this. This woman, she did oats first, had a big detox dump. Then she took out her she switched her stainless steel to nickel-free Homeshef. And then she had a whole nother detox. Okay. Get the PectaClear going. Now this part is not great, but we have, interestingly, I've noticed that my hair has rapidly turned more gray in the past year as well. I'm looking forward to Dr. Smith's next live stream on the antidotes. I think she's talking about the one I did last week, because I echo what everyone else has said. This nickel detox is no joke. I hope this is the breakthrough I've been looking for with my weight gain and lingering digestive issues. I can tell you that I'm 99% positive that this is behind all of that. So the gray hair stuff, I think we're going to fix that but I think that's going to be probably one of the last things to go. Like, cause that's a, if you want to call it a vanity thing, you know, your body's like, oh, well, you want to look cute. Well, let's fix your liver first. Let's fix your gut. Let's get rid of this excess body fat, or this excess liver fat, or this excess intermesenteric, as in the fat between your organs. Let's fix these things first, and then we'll get into the hair. Kelsey and I are working on some things that are like, we have not told anybody about yet, because they're kind of out there. And, it's could be a game changer for all sorts of conditions. So yeah. So that's the testimonials. So now let's get into, that's all for that. So let's get into the, if you guys have questions on the nickel detox, I mean, I'll put it this way. If you come and you say, I'm on the low nickel diet and I'm having all these weird symptoms, are they nickel detox? Probably. About 100% sure. Yes. Do we have magical symptom fixers for each of these things during the detox? No, we don't. Other than the PectaClear. This is why I'm saying, if people are going to be like, well, the BioGaia or the apple pectin or the B1 or N-acetylcysteine, or no, PectaClear. Otherwise, PectaClear is going after the root cause, which is the nickel coming out. Everything else is dealing with mostly the symptoms. I mean, PectaSol, the MCP, is going after it too. And apple pectin is helping you poop and grabbing it a bit too. But I'm telling you, put your investment during this into the PectaClear, and don't be chintzy if you don't have to be. Okay, if you don't tolerate 6 pills a day, but you tolerate 4 pills, or 6 pills 3 times a day, but you tolerate 4 pills 3 times a day, then do that. Okay. If you have to sacrifice other supplements or what other things you're doing during this, I'm going to suggest you do it if you want to reduce your suffering. The PectaClear is the corner turner. Like, it's going to make all of this easier. And still, I would suggest, if you're very concerned about the nickel detox, that you do a month of PectaClear before, at full dose, before you start taking out nickel things. If you saw those lists of symptoms, and you've heard me talking about this, yeah, do a prep phase of a month at least, and then start taking out things one at a time. And if they come out, like you just saw this other lady, she went oats, and then she went pots and pans, and she had a dump each time. So that's also what I'm saying, is if you're not feeling any nickel detox, you very well may have, actually, this was another woman who just turned the corner with the PectaClear. I think she said for the first week or two, she didn't really have any detox symptoms because she was drinking a lot of black tea, like iced tea. Well, iced tea has a lot of nickel in it. And so once she took the iced tea out, all of a sudden, then it went. So again, if you're not feeling anything, if you're not taking me seriously on the food list, and if you start playing games with the food list and you're like, well, I don't think this is a problem. Like, oh, I'm going to eat this bean because I don't think it's a problem because Nickel Navigator said so, or whatever. And you mess up, And then you're like, oh, I went through the nickel diet. It was no problem. I guess I don't have a nickel problem. No, you messed it up. You messed it up. These 3 months are not the time to play games. If you really want to get better. If you don't want to get better, you can play all the games you want. You know, you can tie the string around the whole city so you can leave your house on a certain day of the week. You can play games like that. Your nickel detox won't care about your games. It'll just not happen. So, okay, so let me get to the super chats that we got so far. Super chats get priority if you didn't know. So let me pull up the, oh, Joe got it. Okay, so LeBrad Pass says, no question today. Thank you for the super chat, LeBrad. Can't wait to catch up later. Thank you for all your work on this. Turning the corner on his low nickel diet. So grateful. Keep it under 2 hours. Yes, thank you. I will. We're already at like 11, so we're technically an hour in. But yes, I will do my best to keep it. Let me find that comment and go give it a like and a heart. There we go. And then Sergio says, I only boil chicken and rice in stainless steel. Is it bad? See, this is okay. Probably not. Probably not. If you were to add acids to it, that makes so just remember, if it's a problem and it's a problem, then I can't change that. The things that cause stainless steel to leach more nickel. Well, first of all, you want to know how much nickel is in it. So is the stainless steel you have, is it 1810? Is it 18.8? Is it the Homa Chef is 21/0, which means it's 20 at the 18 and the 18 and the other number, or the 21 and the other number, that's chromium to nickel. Now people are going to start freaking out about chromium too. Can people be sensitive to chromium like they're sensitive to nickel? Yes. Can you be toxic in chromium? Yes. That seems to fix itself much more easily than the nickel problem does. As you guys saw on my hair test, when I took out the nickel, like my nickel dumped like crazy. Okay. I think nickel is the big slower of detox. Actually, I gotta talk to Kelsey. Kelsey found some research that she says suggests that nickel may actually make ALDH run backwards. It definitely, nickel slows down your dehydrogenases, which would include, it's the study we have is on glutamate dehydrogenase, but that it's generally nickel slows down a lot of enzymes. And so we're seeing, as we're seeing huge people take out the nickel, right? And they start detoxing and all this stuff. And so if, let's say, nickel was slowing down their detox enzymes and you take the brake off of that, you're going to detox a whole bunch. So is it all nickel? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's aldehydes and other stuff like that too. So, Sergio, if you can switch away from the stainless steel and get something, like borosilicate glass or clay or something else, I mean, that will only help you. The big things that cause, nickel leaching, one is heat, two is acidity. And then obviously there would be how much nickel is in something and how soft it is. So if you ever have, if you have stainless steel pans that like you can literally put scratches into, like you can see like literal gouges in it from your kitchenware, that's why the literal like cast iron, like people are getting into, oh yeah, cast iron's good for the low nickel. You are literally eating iron shavings from cast iron pots. When they say cast iron increases your iron levels, well, how would it do that? The iron is leaching into your food. Or when you scrape the pan to flip over the stuff or whatever, you're literally scraping off iron shavings, very tiny ones, into your food. What makes iron rust? Heat, air, moisture, light. How many of those are involved in cooking? So if you have a teeny little iron shaving that you can't even hardly see and it's rusting and you're eating it, do you think that's good for you? No. So I don't support cast iron on this. I don't. I've never supported cast iron. People will be like, eating metal is not good for you. I'm like, yeah, it's not. So don't eat iron off a cast iron pan. And even if you were low iron and we fix it, let's say you fix it with cast iron, well, you're going to need to stop eating off of it after a while, because then it's going to take you to high iron, which is a whole nother problem. So creating a new problem by solving an old one is not a good idea. If you want to use carbon steel pans, that's fine. Titanium is fine. Enameled stuff, as long as there's no lead issues with it, is fine. Clay, as long as there's no lead issues with it, is fine. Borosilicate glass is fine. The Homa Chef, I think, is fine. So you got lots of options. But like Sergio, I thank you for the super chat, by the way. I forgot to say that. If it's an issue, then it's an issue. I cannot make these calls. So it's, if you want to be as safe as possible, then over time work towards getting something else that is not a nickel risk at all. And again, folks, I'm not talking about, you don't have to change your kitchen knives. You don't have to change your silverware. You don't have to, like, cooking stuff is an important thing because heat and acidity leach more nickel. So if you take the nickel out, then the nickel's not an issue. Then you're dealing with, if you still have nickel in your stainless steel or whatever, then you've got the heat issue, and then you've got the acidity issue. And we talked also about this, is if you're using a reverse osmosis system for your water, that can make your water more acidic. Except only, not the AquaTrue though. The one I recommend, the AquaTrue, doesn't do that. So normal RO systems can make the water more acidic. So if you have the stainless steel and you have the more acidic water, and then you're cooking, that could be an issue. But I can't say for each person, unless you measure the nickel in it, which the only person I know who's probably going to be measuring nickel in their house is going to be Kelsey, because I ordered her the Hannah Instruments machine to do it, and I ordered the reagents. Oh, just to test nickel, it only costs about $850. But it's important to me, so we got that. So that's what we got so far. Sergio says a crock pot, is it okay? A crock pot that is the clay is definitely okay. You're saying you put emallated steel. Do you mean enameled? ENAMELED. I know English is not your first language. So let me get down here. There it is. So if it's enameled is okay. Yes. Yeah. And that was in a paper, a nickel toxicity paper. So just Andy said Chitosan might help bind to nickel. I'm not messing around with Chitosan. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching Chitosan. And somebody said, let me see if I can find it again. Oh, does the 3-letter thing help with nickel detox? As in the what do I want to say? The supplement we shall not name, borine trioxide, or the 3-letter supplement that we won't say. Does it help to detox nickel? I don't think so. I think it helps to oxidize organic type toxins. And by organic type toxins, I mean not metals. I mean things that are made of carbon and hydrogen and oxygen, like aldehydes. So it can help with those. I found one paper on nickel where it seemed like the borine trioxide and the nickel were not getting along very well in the study, and not in a good way. So this could be why borine trioxide is not really suggested long-term. Why you're supposed to use it for an issue and then get off of it. I wouldn't use it long-term. From what I've seen of the use in autism, they have to start with it very, very slowly because of the reactions. It's not a Herxheimer reactions are nonsense, folks. Autistic kids are toxic AF. No judgment against the parents. That's just they are. They're toxic as heck. They react to the borine trioxide because it's starting to move their detox stuff, and they are so backed up. Remember, toxicity slows detox. If they're very, very toxic, their detox is very, very slow, and you start moving it forward, they have bottlenecks everywhere. And so, yeah. And we've had some people during the low nickel say that they are passing what look like worms in their stool. So again, we're not doing any parasite meds or any mectins or azoles or any of that nonsense that the controlled opposition psyops are pushing on people. Oh, nicotine and nickel. Oh, that's a bad combo. Weird that they're yeah, you could look up nicotine and nickel. It's bad. Nicotine makes nickel do worse things in the body, and now they're pushing nicotine. What weird coincidences that the famous mainstream alternative people are pushing these things. Oh gosh. Let me show you this. Wait, let me find it. Let me find this. Oh my gosh. Let me find this. This is great. It's about Proposition 65 in California and cannabis and tobacco. Let's see if I can find the link. Oh, if I don't, let me see. I think I know. I can find it in my stuff with Kelsey. Oh, man. See if I can find it. I mean, they literally put Prop 65 warnings on cannabis because of all the known cancer-causing stuff in it. I'm not finding it quick. So anyway. Yeah, so between the vapes, which my son says at his high school, like so many kids are vaping, and the cannabis and the nicotine pushers, there is a certain aspect potentially of the con followed by the spiracy idea here that is very, very deep. This is deeper than we've gone before, and Kelsey's been working on that stuff. I didn't realize she was working on it, and she just comes back to me and she's like, "Oh, let me show you all this stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll get into it. We'll do it when we have time." But Teresa asks, is it that we ladies are slower at detox, or is it that we are more toxic and still intoxing metals? Well, I mean, it can. How do I put? I mean, I try to put this in the nicest way, in the most like evolutionary biology way. Like, women don't run as fast as men in general. Women don't detox as fast as men in general. That's just how it is. Women make body fat a lot faster than men, a lot more easily than men, That's a storage toxin depot. Their livers are smaller probably compared to their body size. It is what it is. We don't really have to know why. We just need to know that ladies have to be more patient. And the bad thing is, the sucky thing is, is that, like, let's say somebody is a slow runner and they want to be in the Olympics and that's their dream. Okay. We don't need to talk about whether they're ever going to make it or not, but if somebody starts out as a slow runner, they are simply going to have to put in way more effort. Their training needs to be more effective, and they probably need to do more than other people, whether it's better at rest and recovery, or better at their training, or more effort when they need to put it in, and better nutrition and all that stuff. It's just they have to work harder to be a faster runner because they were not gifted at it. Well, one of the things I don't like in the health field is all these like young, brash men who have never really been sick in their lives, or let's say they got sick and they did the one thing that fixed them, and then they think that that one thing fixes everybody else. And that, if you just eat this way, you'll just get as good as me. And I honestly think a lot of those are psyops, and they're made up BS from the start. I mean, if somebody like Christian Bale, let's say, could starve themselves to look terrible, like absolutely awful, like he did in The Pianist, literally starved himself. And then he took a picture, and then let's just say somebody did this. And then he claims, he takes a picture of himself when he looks terrible and overly skinny, like he's dying. And then he just starts eating normally again, and he goes back to normal size. And he's like, look at what my program did for somebody. Like, people can be out there literally lying. You can look at my old videos and see that I didn't look great and that I look a lot healthier now. And you can watch it week by week over the last 4.5 years. So other influencers out there are looking worse and worse, and everybody's getting red. Have you noticed this? Go on Instagram and just everybody's got like practically rosacea on their face. I think whatever's going on right now, folks, is whatever they're doing with the frequencies and the EMF and whatever, they are triggering the nickel. They're doing something to it. A lot of you have noticed, like, people are passing away. People are getting really sick. People are going to the hospital. Like, it's happening all over the place. Something is happening. So going through the nickel detox right now, because of what they're doing with the frequencies, when you start dumping the nickel, it's going to affect you more. So if you try to do the nickel detox naked, as I'm going to say, some of us are going to do it with protection. Some of us are going to do it butt naked. And if you notice that you are suffering because you're doing it without any protection, yeah, there's me back in the day. So if you're doing it without any protection and you feel terrible, and especially you start noticing that space weather and EMF is affecting you more, then yeah, it is. When I was going through the nickel detox without protection, the space weather was crushing me, absolutely crushing me. And now it's mild at best. So my buddy's still having a little bit of an issue with it because he just got on the PectaClear recently. So Teresa added the 3-letter thing. The experts in that say, yes, it does detox metals. It's been said that we have to oxidize metals to detox them. So there is that. But we had some people doing the 3-letter thing for an extended period of time for a while to start, and they started to get other issues. So we have a redox balance in our body, reduction and oxidation, or you want to call it oxidation and antioxidation, however you want to think of it. You can over-oxidize, pushing that button for too long, just like people can take way too many antioxidants for too long. What we are trying to do is give the body control of this. Now, one of the biggest things that nickel does, nickel is a super oxidizer in the body. Like, it uses up your glutathione like crazy. I think that's part of why people don't feel good on it, is the oxidative stuff is just going bonkers. And so what we want to do is not try to throw in a bunch of antioxidants. Why don't we grab onto it and get rid of it? So throwing in oxidizers for a long period of time, it can cause issues too. Just like people can take too much baking soda and over-alkalize themselves and cause themselves problems. They can take way too much acidic stuff and cause themselves problems. They can take way too many antioxidants and cause themselves problems. They could take way too many oxidative things and cause themselves problems. So the idea would be that our body can actually manage this stuff really well. This would be like terrain theory. And so our job is simply to minimize the poisons in. These are the three basics of what we do. Minimize the poisons in, facilitate the removal of stored toxins, and give the body the nutrients that it needs to both run the detoxification systems and to protect itself from the toxins that are in us. So that's yeah. Oh, and Luca, I want to read this. Luca was saying, forgive me for the misinterpretation regarding doing lots of water. It was aimed at adding an extra bonus tool to help flush out nickel. And although I was going through rough detox, it truly helped. Okay, so let me say this. Luca, I do actually, I want you to know, I appreciate that you talked about the water. I was just doing an example of, like, some people are going to have it really rough regardless. And some people are going to sail through it easier. This is the thing. I've been saying this about vitamin A detox forever. And I have been mentioning the water thing as part of nickel detox. And your comment on it reminded me of how that fit in and how it's important. So you did help. I just like to, it's when we have the outliers where some people like just cruise through things and it's super easy. And then we have the other people who are like, they're like, I did this. And let's say they're kind of a nervous Nelly and they don't take discomfort very well. And they're like, I went to the hospital because of like people who go to the hospital for flush niacin. Like, they're literally flushing. They can't seem to read the label that it says flush niacin and that there's a warning on it. You may flush from this. And they freak out and they go call the ambulance, or they go to the doctor, and the ambulance, the paramedics are kind of laughing at them and the doctor's kind of chuckling at them. And they're like, you took flush niacin. What did you think was going to happen? This is why you want to know why nobody sells flush niacin? It's because of the couple of people who get it and they're like, oh my God, this gave me a terrible allergic reaction. And it's like, did you not do any research on it at all? You didn't see the name was called flush niacin and you went to the hospital because you felt hot and itchy? Like, anyway. But so there would be like those people who are like, never take flush niacin because I got so freaked out I went to the hospital. Well, that was not the flush niacin's fault. That was the person's fault. So we have the people who like, and then there'll be the people who like, I took flush niacin, I didn't flush at all, right? So it's kind of this, we could liken that to the same thing. There's the people who have the super duper rough time, maybe because they don't follow instructions. And then we have the people who just genetically, luckily, whatever, cruise right through it. Matthew, Good Texture on Twitter, cruised right through the detox. I'm not telling anybody to do this. Was it because he took obscene doses of zinc for a while before he started the low nickel diet? Obscene, like 400 milligrams. I think at one point he mentioned taking up to 600 milligrams a day. Am I going to advocate that to anybody? No, I'm not. That's a drug-like effect. And I'm not saying he did anything bad. We learned something from it. We learned that, again, it fit into the whole thing of you can megadose things that are nickel antagonists and reduce your absorption of nickel and feel better. The problem is you're increasing your absorption of those things you're taking megadoses of. So Matthew's also, on the younger side, and he's a male. So he's like, I haven't really had much of the problems with it. Okay. But when we start chalking up younger side, male, not huge health problems. We start going, okay, these are the people who can cruise through it. You start laying down, you got like a 60s, 70s, 80-year-old woman who has got like multiple autoimmune conditions and been sick for 50 years and, got all the pokies up until they were 40. And like, you start layering these things on and you start going, okay, yeah, this is going to be a lot rougher way out. So Luca, you helped in that way. You helped with emphasizing the water. So I do want to say something good came out of that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you are welcome, Luca. Buttercup Yeshua says, is alginate from seaweed? Yes. Yeah. It'd be like apple pectin is from apple. Does apple pectin have all the stuff in it that apples do? No. So again, like we can use parts. This is the problem with like some of the people out there who think that all supplements are bad. Can we isolate or clean parts of things and use them in other ways that are very valuable? Yes. Seaweeds literally clean the ocean of toxic metals. You can clean the cleaner stuff. Okay. You can wash zeolite and get anything that it grabbed out in nature out of it. You could wash alginate and get whatever it grabbed onto out in nature out of it. So it's not seaweed. It's from seaweed. But that'd be like saying apple pectin is from apples, right? Modified citrus pectin is from the peel, the pith of, I forget which citrus fruits it is. But so it's all cleaned and then we can use it. So, Buttercup Yeshua says, talk forever. Yeah. Sound like Cornelius on Instagram. Cornelius. Okay, so Sergio said it was enameled. Enameled steel, yes. So Brady's asking, how have everyone's workouts been since starting low nickel? I expected it to be bad at first. The opposite has been true for me, better strength and cardio. Well, lucky you. Okay. No, this is important. Again, some people may just actually wait. We had somebody else on office hours the other day that they fully took out chocolate and they took out something else. And they were like, I've just been basically feeling better. And then they started mentioning, oh, I've been having a couple of these little symptoms. And they're like, oh, wait, that might be low nickel. And I was like, yeah. But so the symptoms can be minor and you could do better in other areas. So I'll say for my part, and my buddy and my son, who is, I can say my son has been doing the PectaSol and his back pain is nearly gone. He's still a bit sensitive to space weather. He'll ask me, he'll be like, Dad, I had a bad day. And I'm like, oh yeah, the space weather kicked up. Sorry about that, bud. But his back pain is getting so much better that I think was literally mostly coming from his braces, which we're going to get out before we move to Idaho. And I'm excited about that because then he's going to be doing so well. But he's back to working out. For a while, he wasn't working out because of his back pain. And that's getting better. My buddy and I both missed quite a few workouts during the worst part of the low nickel diet. And now I'm back to it and I'm doing longer workouts and more stuff in my workouts than I have since I was probably a teenager or in my 20s. So I'm impressed. And I've suddenly started noticing, and I had to get a ways into this, but I've suddenly started noticing that my appetite is significantly up. I'm eating more food and I'm staying at the same weight or even gaining a little weight and I'm looking leaner and I'm going, this is not supposed to happen. Like this is. So anyway, for those of you who have gained weight doing the oats or the beans and all that stuff, and it's probably a nickel problem, that's going to eventually fix itself. It's not going to be like again, people think they just get on the low vitamin A diet and all their health problems go away. That is not how it works. You're going to have to clear the nickel out of various parts of your body. If you do the PectaClear, you may not even feel it. but you're going to have to clear it out of your gut. You're going to have to clear it out of your liver. You're going to have to clear it out of your pancreas. You're going to have to clear it out of all these places, out of your skin. The PectaClear can help grab onto it so it doesn't bother you as that happens. But now my workouts are going really well. Yeah. So that if you're in the rough part of it right now, first of all, get on the PectaClear. Second of all, it does get better. I'm going to say this one more time. If you're in the middle of the ish right now of the low nickel diet, it does get better. It does go away. It absolutely sucks while you're in it. It absolutely sucks while you're in it, and it does get better, and it will go away. And if you get the PectaClear, I do believe that it will wipe out 90% of the stuff you're having. I'm just going to say this one thing. For those of you who pay attention to my appearance, one of the things I've noticed is like this filled in on my beard. This didn't used to be here. I was noticing this last episode. I didn't used to have this right here. So I'm going, oh, it's my beard filling in. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, better strength and cardio. Yeah, it's coming around. Yes. Okay, for righteousness says, hi, Dr. Smith. I just joined, so I'm not sure if you've already covered this, but does hair thinning seem to be a common symptom of nickel detox? If you're pushing the detox too hard and you have no protection, it could very well happen. Sure. We're still accumulating all the symptoms, but pretty much it looks like almost anything commonly people experience could be part of it. Yeah. So either, we don't really have, here's the problem with nickel detox. Once you start it, we don't really have a way of slowing it down or stopping it other than you could go back to eating nickel foods, which almost nobody wants to do. Once you know how toxic nickel is, people don't want to put it back in. And so then it's like, well, you get to ride it out or you get to get protection. And that's really what I would suggest doing. And if you're not, there's a lot of people they lose their appetite as part of it. So they don't eat a lot. So if you're not eating, then things like your hair needs stuff to grow. So, but yeah, I would just, I would get on that PectaClear. So yeah, people were talking about, do you notice skin flaking a little? And so Buttercup said, do you notice skin flaking? For righteousness said a little, mostly on my face, and Buttercup said yes for me too. So skin stuff during this, totally normal. Like flaring up of skin stuff, yeah. Oh, Fernando has been, yeah. So he's asking, so is PectaClear better than Zeolite for nickel detox? Yes. Yes. Zeolite is helpful if you're having digestive symptoms like GERD or your tummy's upset, because I had that a lot. Actually, I think I got nickeled this morning a little bit and my stomach got upset and I did not take Zeolite. I took my PectaClear and it cleared up after a bit. The PectaClear pretty much cleared it up. And I was at the point of before the live stream, I was like, do I need to take Zeolite? I was telling Kelsey, I'm like, my tummy's upset. And I thought I'll take the Zeolite if I need to. I didn't need to. The PectaClear cleared it up, but I would have taken Zeolite. So think Zeolite Zeolite still works. Zeolite still works for all the other minerals and stuff like that. Zeolite stays in the gut. PectaClear has the PectaSol, which can go into the blood and get rid of stuff through the kidneys. And then it also has the Alginate, which is really good at grabbing the nickel out of the gut and helping you poop. Cause it's like, one paper said it was a soluble fiber. I don't know. They mainly say it's a polysaccharide. Buttercup says when nickel's on the way out, is the stool color lighter? I've seen that. Also, if you're taking a lot of PectaSol, PectaSol is kind of an orange color. So just like if you see charcoal in your poop, if you're seeing a lot of PectaSol in your poop, it might look a bit more orange in tint, which would look lighter than the normal brown. So there's that too. Oh, Sam Jones added the metal wire that runs through braces is nickel titanium NITI. My hand eczema was out of control when I had them. They also, yeah, nickel titanium or stainless steel, or I forget how the pronunciation was, or nitinol, NITINOL, which is apparently a pretty cool metal in terms of if once they bend it into shape, if you bend it out of shape, it really wants to go back. But then they started putting it in, like, you know, there's some IUDs made of nitinol. I believe that's how they said to pronounce it, was nitinol. But it was developed on a military base. And they're going to go and put it inside of women. Great, good. Yupperville says, hey, Dr. Smith, is low nickel going to be a part of your diet like low vitamin A and copper? The diet that is on, was it 247 that I made? That is what I'm doing now, is low vitamin A, it's low nickel first, low copper, low manganese, and it's low-ish vitamin A, like under 1,000 units a day, which some of the other low vitamin A people out there will hyperventilate and they'll think that that's some huge amount, but I'm not gonna do 1,000 units of vitamin A ever in a day. It was just, that was the amount that I allotted for people to get 500 milligrams of calcium from dairy if they decided to do that. So you can get 500 milligrams of calcium from dairy way below 1,000 units of vitamin A. So yeah, it's basically and it's still well below the RDA. So sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, it's 247. Excuse me. All right. Still clearing out some nickel from my sinuses. But as people get better, we're already seeing that people are, I kind of talked about this in the last episode, they're tolerating nickel better. Just like people, as they do the low vitamin A diet for longer, then they can tolerate vitamin A better than they used to. Once they know that that vitamin A was a problem, they start having it again, it's just like people with alcohol. After people do the love your liver diet for long enough and they have alcohol again, they're like, I tolerate alcohol better and I haven't been drinking. So as you get less toxic, you detox faster and you can deal with some toxins better, but it all depends on whether you want to put them back in. So the low nickel will be like an intro phase to this whole process. Because, well, I'm all about, I don't know about you guys, but I'm here because I want results, and we're building a reputation because we get results, right? If people want the fastest results, it's going to be to start with the like prep phase, like the PectaClear or the PectaSol prep phase, and then start doing the low nickel diet. Oh, it's also a low oxalate diet. As people have noticed, low nickel foods are also low oxalate foods. What a coincidence. I don't think oxalate dumping is really a thing. I think people who do a low oxalate diet start nickel dumping, and that's what's going on. Oh, sorry. Joe said it wasn't 247. I think it was 246. That was the where I went over the diet stuff. There's in the info box, there's a link to the documents where you can just look at the diet list. But the diet's very simple. Oh, for those of you who are worrying about B1 deficiency on this, all of these supposed B vitamin deficiencies always happened in places where they were not eating meat. Until someone proves to me, so like, okay, so imagine, why aren't muscle meat carnivores getting all these vitamin deficiencies? Why aren't they getting scurvy, first of all? Why aren't they getting B1 deficiency? Why aren't they getting B2 deficiency, B3 deficiency, B4, B5 deficiency, B6 deficiency? Because when humans need meat. So if you try to ask me for a vegan low nickel diet, no, it doesn't exist. vegan, it's in the literature, vegan and vegetarian diets are inherently high in nickel, which is weird that the elites want to move us towards that. Now, do I suggest an all muscle meat diet? No, I don't, because that doesn't do any detox. That just leaves the stuff in you. People feel better because, oh gosh, you go on an all muscle meat diet. What are you not eating? Manganese, copper, oxalates, nickel. Like, other than organ meats have plenty of those toxic metals. So we avoid the toxic metals by avoiding the organ meats. And then animal foods are generally going to be the lowest in those things I mentioned. So, but an all muscle meat diet doesn't have any soluble fiber. Do you know that there's literally research out there showing that if you don't eat soluble fiber, your gut bacteria start literally digesting your gut lining? It's out there. So I'm not a fan of all muscle meat carnivore, except if somebody really needed a reset, but I don't think we need that anymore now that we know the low nickel thing. What does somebody needing a reset by doing an all muscle meat carnivore diet probably need? Well, they probably started eating nickel foods again and they felt really bad. And then they're like, I got to go back to this because I know this works to calm everything down. Well, now I think we know why. So is this going to be a part of my diet for good? Yeah, I can't see any reason to eat high nickel foods anymore. Like, I don't love beans. I never really loved oats. Like, what do I get when I go to the restaurant now for breakfast? I get egg whites. Like, this is the stuff they have there. I have egg whites and I have toast and they have chicken sausage and they have like their breakfast potatoes. I might have that once a week. But I go there and I have a low nickel diet and I enjoy it. And I feel fine after it. So I can go out to eat without having to do, there's nothing. What's wrong with that breakfast, really? If it's not an everyday thing. Nothing wrong with it. I enjoy it. So is that hard to do? No, that's not hard to do. So is it going to be a part of my routine for good? Yeah. And actually I'm hoping when I go up to Idaho, I'm probably going to start doing some local presentations. I'll probably film them for YouTube to put up on nickel stuff, because everybody I look at up in that area of the Pacific Northwest, they look pale and they look sick. And they have nickel in the water there. They literally have nickel in the water. So I think it'll be something that I can really help my immediate area with. And considering what I think is coming, you're going to want to make friends with your neighbors. It's going to be really a good thing to be friends with your neighbors. Make friends with your neighbors. Because when stuff hits the fan, you're going to want to have other people around and trust and who can help you and who you can help and vice versa. So Buttercup says, oh yeah, when I meet girls that were on Ozempic 60 pounds lighter, yeah, I had no symptoms. Oh, I knew somebody who had to go to the hospital because they were vomiting for a month straight, like up to 7 times a day after Ozempic. Oh, Joe's getting buff. He said, I was able to do 35 push-ups today instead of the 25 I usually do. So we heard hand strength goes down with nickel toxicity. Yeah. So hand strength, I mean, that correlates to the whole body. They're just using the hand strength as a measure of kind of whole body strength in a way. Cause I mean, anybody who actually understands the gym is if you can't hold on to something, you can't lift it. The crazy thing is when people are using straps in the gym all the time so they can lift more weights with the muscle they're trying to do, but then they don't think about real life. And if you can't hold on to a weight, you can't do anything with it. So why are you not working on your weight holders? It's kind of important. Like, yes, you could get down to a last set and use straps so you can hit the target muscle better, but why not get your hands strong? That's how we interact with everything, is your hands. Like, why do people want weak hands? I don't understand. So, okay. Yeah, Fernando Espin said, I missed 2 weeks of working out. That's about what I did too. Yeah. He added, I thought I was squatting wrong at first. Then the detox hit me like a freight train. Yeah, it's about right. Oh, Brady was saying, I didn't mean to rub it in. It was an interesting benefit that I wasn't expecting. No, it's totally cool. Like I'm not upset at any of you folks who are like cruising through it. Like there probably literally are people out there who take Ozempic and have no problems. Are they developing problems inside? Yes, but you guys who cruise through the detox and you're seeing immediate benefits, I mean, that's amazing. That's great. And I know you guys are wanting to talk about the benefits you got, right? Because you want to sell it to people, so that's good. I just try to keep the majority of people's expectations realistic. That like before we knew how to protect ourselves from this, it was brutal. I can't tell you how bad I felt about my buddy and Kelsey feeling bad. I mean, I felt bad about you guys out there, but I was hearing from my buddy and Kelsey multiple times a day about how bad they were feeling. And, and my mom's going, I'm not going to do this because I saw your buddy and how much you guys were suffering. And I'm like, oh man, like it was rough. So that's why I'm telling you the PectaClear, man, just do it. No, so nobody was rubbing it in. Don't worry. Hello, JJ Hempcrete. Cottony Circle said a few days ago, I nixtamalized my own white rice. Very good source of calcium on a low nickel diet. Sure. Heather Parker says, I'm not seeing PectaClear available in Canada. If you have a contact with Beth Martins, or if Beth Martins is in the chat, Beth may need to tell you how to do it. I think for PectaSol and PectaClear, Beth may have ordered it to somebody in the States and driven to the border and picked up a bunch of it. I think that might be what she did. So I don't know what to do about China. I don't know. China is a rough place. Oh, let me see. Sorry, let me get to this super chat. Sorry, Seeking Truth. I didn't see the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I have been doing low vitamin A diet for almost 3 years. I am super sensitive and have not tolerated niacin, selenium, molybdenum, and zinc. Do you recommend starting PectaClear slowly or start on full dose? Thanks. Okay, so I guess I'll hit on this. Let me see. Are there any more super chats? Can you check? Just so I can make sure I don't miss any before. Okay. I got to get to the super chat. So I'm okay. I'll hit on just PectaClear. Yeah, we got 2 more super chats. So no more super chats. I got to wrap this up because I can't be late to pick up my son. I still have real life to do out there. Okay, starting PectaClear. I kind of go over this in the last episode, but I'm mainly talking about PectaSol. But the concepts totally go over to PectaClear. Okay, so Seeking Truth, you are likely. So watch the other episode about starting slow and like doing the PectaClear probably for like a month. Maybe it's going to take you a while to get to the full dose, but at least get to the full dose for a month before you start taking out nickel things. Okay, that's the first thing. Because like, as you saw, like people are taking out their stainless steel pans and switching them for nickel free and they're blowing up, or they're just taking out oats and they're blowing up. So should you start slow on PectaClear? Yes. It is most likely that you are sensitive to flush niacin, selenium, molybdenum, and zinc because they are nickel antagonists and they are stirring up nickel in you. And what you're actually having is probably a small nickel dumping when you take those. It could be copper too, but it seems that nickel, when it comes out, is the nastiest thing around. So you're probably very toxic in nickel with the PectaClear. So I'm going to give you guys the overview of how to introduce, whether it's the PectaSol or whether it's the PectaClear. But I'm mainly talking about the PectaClear here because I'm going to talk about capsules. Okay. You can open a capsule of the PectaClear and take a smaller dose than just a capsule. So just know if you're really sensitive and you want to start with less than a capsule, you can. That you can determine how much to start with. I'm just going to start with, I'm going to assume that 1 capsule is where we start. Okay. So if you take 1 capsule and your symptoms are, let's say you have let's just start this. Let's say you have a big response. You're saying, I don't tolerate a whole capsule. Okay. You have a big negative response. Take less. Go down, find the dose that works for you. You're going to stay at that dose until you decide to start increasing. Okay. So there's that. Then let's say you took 1 capsule and let's say you get some symptoms and they're tolerable or acceptable. You're like, okay, so I got a little bit of this, but I can deal with that. So I'll just stay at the same dose. Okay. So that's the idea of staying at the same dose. If you take a dose, like 1 capsule, and you have no symptoms, you have 2 options at that point. You could stay at that dose for a while to confirm it, or you could go up the next time. Once you know you tolerate a dose of PectaSol or PectaClear, I think you can jump to the next dose. Okay? It doesn't like build up in your system. So if you wanted to go, we'll do the slowest way of going up first. It would be like you start with 1 capsule on the first day. Oh, and you want to take it between meals is best. Okay. So remember, perfection is the enemy of good enough. Between meals is best. However, if you forget to take it, like let's say you forget your AM dose, because I'm not going to call it breakfast, I'm going to call it AM. You forget your AM dose and it's breakfast time now and you're eating and you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to take it with food. I'm supposed to take it between meals. No, take it with the food and then do your next dose right. Don't miss a dose because it's not perfect. Take it with the food. We eat fiber with food normally, so it's okay to eat fiber with food. It might work better if you take it away from food. Okay, it might work better. That doesn't mean it doesn't work if you take it with food. So this is really important. So if you miss your dose between meals, take it with the meal. So the slowest way to go up, assuming you're tolerating every single dose you take. First, day 1, 1 pill a day, whenever you decide to do it. Day 2 would be 1 pill twice a day. Day 3, 1 pill 3 times a day. Day 4 would then be, let's say, 2 pills in the AM, 1 pill midday, 1 pill PM, right? So you go 2, 1, 1. Day 5 would be 2, 2, 1. Day 6 would be 2, 2, 2. Day 7 would be 3, 2, 2. Okay, so I'm not going to go all the way up to 6. I don't like that 6, 6, 6. Oh, I'm not, but I'm not going to go through every step there. So that would take you 18 days to get up to 6 pills 3 times a day. Okay. Then, if you wanted to go a bit slower and have it take 6 days to get up to the full dose. Again, assuming you tolerated every single dose you took, day 1, 1 pill, 1 pill, 1 pill. Day 2, 2, 2, 2. Day 3, 3, 3, 3, all the way up to 6 pills 3 times a day. So that would take you 6 days. Okay. Assuming you tolerated every single dose. The fastest way, and anybody could do this, if you're tolerating the PectaSol, like my son just jumped in with a scoop of PectaSol and he's wearing braces right now. So he's literally nickel toxic, like right now. He just jumped in with a scoop once a day. And then after about a week, he was kind of like not noticing a lot of improvements. Then I said, take 2 scoops a day. Would you take 2 scoops for a day for me? And he goes, sure. Yeah, no problem, Dad. I said, I think you'll feel better. He's like, and he has been. So can you just do the PectaSol or the PectaClear without the diet? Yes. Are you going to get as many benefits? No. Okay. So the fastest way to go up, assuming you tolerate every single dose, would be 1 pill AM, this first day, day 1 pill in the AM, 2 pills midday, 3 days PM. Day 2 would then be 4 pills in the AM, 5 pills midday, 6 pills in the PM. And then the day after that, you're doing 6 pills 3 times a day because you know you tolerate 6 pills at once. So that is how you can go up. So if you're very sensitive, if you want to start with less than 1 capsule a day and open it up and take less than 1, or get the powder. Just remember I haven't seen anybody reacting with the Alginate. I haven't seen it yet. It doesn't mean it couldn't happen. But the PectaSol can make, we've heard some reports of some people feeling weird or a little bit of lightheadedness or whatever, but what we're seeing, okay, I want you guys to understand. What we're seeing is as they do this, the low dose, if they're sensitive, as they do the low dose, they eventually tolerate more. And as you start tolerating more, you can probably start going up faster, because we just had to clean off that top nasty layer of nickel and whatever else. So as we clear off that top nasty layer, your detox gets faster because you're less toxic, and then you can start, it's like a snowball. Okay. So, that's, start slowly. If you know you're sensitive, start slowly. But if you're noticing like you tolerate it fine and you're feeling better, then don't hesitate to go up. Okay. So let's hit these other super chats. No, we're fine, Joe. I'm not worried about it. Bonjo Knight says, is rinsing with hydrogen peroxide good for teeth? You can overdo hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is an oxidizing agent. As a story I have, my dad was a dentist and my mom was his office manager. I forgot to say thank you for the super chat. They said they had a guy who would swish every day with hydrogen peroxide, and he came in with all these like white spots on his gums. Like, I mean, think about not just white bubbling because he just used the peroxide. It's like they were literally, I mean, what does oxidation look like when it happens to signs out on the road, right? Colors lose their color. They oxidize, they turn white. So if he was using hydrogen peroxide too often in his mouth, could literally, like, in a way, bleach his gums and his, and that's what people use it for, right? They're using it to whiten their teeth. So if someone wanted to use hydrogen peroxide for their teeth whitening, let's say, I think once a week, maybe twice a week, 5 minutes at the most of swishing would be enough. Okay. If you do the diet right, your teeth will get whiter. Sorry, I forgot to mention earlier with the terrain theory, nickel makes the cavity bacteria, the strep mutans, angry too. Strep mutans has been shown to go up with orthodontics in your mouth. So yeah, so cavities are basically a nickel problem too. So yeah, hydrogen peroxide, can it be overdone? Yeah. Is it a problem to do it once in a while? I would try to get the food grade stuff, because I've heard that there can be some stuff that's not disclosed on the label, like some aluminum related stuff in the typical like Walgreens pharmacy type stuff you buy. So I would get food grade, and just the they either call it, I've seen it listed both 3% or 0.3%. I don't know why I've seen it as both, but yeah. Food grade would be best. Don't buy the super strong hydrogen peroxide and use that in your mouth. Don't do that. So don't overdo it. And it's just something that could help, but you want to get your teeth white through other means of, like, not having bile in your mouth and vitamin A and coffee and all the other things that tend to stain your teeth with polyphenols. So, Sergio, what to do if you find symptoms of parasites in your daughter? What do? We keep doing the diet. we see that people's parasite symptoms go away, and sometimes they see parasites in there. So the first thing you want to do is, what we often think are symptoms of parasites are just toxicity or deficiency symptoms. If you've literally got parasites, then we've seen people pass parasites just from doing the diet. We don't try to kill them. If you chose to go after them, then you could look into, let's say there's a Telegram group called Borine Trioxide Testimonials, or David Oates, Oates, on Substack. And that's how you could find his Telegram group. That's his Telegram group, where they will talk about ways to use the 3-letter compound that shall not be named for parasites. So, but do I think that usually needs to happen? No, I mean, we have tons of people who have been in the program. If any of you are here or you want to comment later or you're in the live chat, we have tons of people in the program who thought they had parasites. They do the program and their gut problems go away, and we didn't treat parasites. And you might want to watch the parasites episode, Sergio. Have a whole parasites episode, so you might want to watch that one. Oh yeah, there it is, 196. Parasites love and they feed on. Remember, not everybody has parasites. Why not? Terrain. If you do not have a good terrain to support parasites, then they don't live there. It's kind of like, why don't all cities have a bunch of homeless people all over the streets? What do some cities do different for their terrain than others? Do some cities support parasites? Do other cities not support parasites? Parasites only stay and live and thrive where there's an environment. So like Sergio, you're saying you've watched it multiple times. Like, let's say parasites love toxic metals. Okay. So what do we want to starve them of? Toxic metals. So what are we working on now? We're working on the, you know what I haven't done? I have not searched parasites and nickel at all. Let me go do that. Just before we wrap this up. No, nothing obvious. Nothing obvious. So Christopher Oliver brought up, dang, I'm late, wondering if your instincts about rosemary come into play here, as it supposedly makes transition metals inert. Christopher, if you have a way of getting me that information about it making transition metals inert, I mean, so you guys know, I've talked about rosemary as being potentially like one of the few herbs that might be helpful, like literally helpful. And if rosemary does make transition metals like nickel inert, as in non-damaging, then my gut instinct may have been correct. I may not have realized why yet until Christopher brought this up. But yeah, if you find that, Christopher, if you want to just post it in the comment, like after the video's over, if you want to post it in the comment, or if you post in the live chat after we're done, I won't see it because they don't send me messages about the live chat once we're over. So yeah. Okay. Oh wait, I'm going to try doing this. Okay. So we're going to wrap up here. Thank you all for coming. I went a little over. Well, I'm really at the 2-hour limit right now. My recording says I'm at an hour and 50 minutes, but we're at 8 after the hour. So I'm going to try doing the links myself today. So we're testing this out. Joe got me to start highlighting the comments, and now I'll try doing it myself. So, okay, here we go. So you are most likely watching this here at youtube.com/nutrition detective. This is our YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you guys that the new subscribers here has been, they don't like me talking about this. So the more you share this with other people, whether in public, it's probably not going to get shared very well. In private, you can help more people, and people tend to trust, you a little more when it's like personal, but obviously don't push it on people. Anyway, I'm telling you, they don't like me talking about nickel, which means it's really, really important. Anyway, this is the YouTube channel. If you want to watch old episodes, go to the, you can go to two things on the main page. You can go to the live tab, which is our live streams. That's where all the live streams are. Or you can go to the videos tab, which is where when we've put videos already done on YouTube, they're in the video tab. So look at those two places, and we're only missing one live stream here on YouTube, and then that is on Rumble. If you want to see all the videos with no editing, and no missing episodes, like 198, that's on Rumble. So if that's that, Rumble has all of it. We don't have any traction on Rumble yet, but all these episodes show up there after they're done. And yeah, so we are there too. Then we have the main website at nutritiondetective.com. That is where you can find our supplements. That is where you can find a link to the Love Your Liver program. That is where you can find our consultation packages under consultation. Now, something I think I pointed this out last week, the instructions link that you can see there, that is instructions for all of our products. That is more detailed instructions for all of our products. So you can go there and then find those. So those are all drop downs. And I'm working on the ones for the PectaSol and the PectaClear and all that stuff right now. And we should have those after we get back from the Labor Day closure. So yeah, so check all that out. And there's a QR code on the supplements that you guys might have purchased from us. If you scan the QR code on the supplements, that will take you to the instructions there. So don't ever say I don't try to give people instructions. Then we have, we'll get into a little bit of the social media now. We got Twitter. I am on x.com. I'm NutriDetect, and we do live stream this there. On Facebook, the.real nutrition detective, and it's the same basic username on, where's Instagram? There it is. Joe will have to reorder these a little bit, but that's fine. So there's Instagram. Then we have, let's keep going. Oh, if you want to see my series on toxic bile paradigm, which is the whole basis of how we are trying to fix the liver and fixing all these crazy cool things, nickel fits into this. How does nickel, for those of you who are familiar with toxic bile paradigm, I mean, this is a 3-episode series that I did with Beth. Nickel fits into toxic bile paradigm because nickel literally eats holes in your gut lining, and it accumulates in your liver, and it does come out in your bile, and it goes into your blood, and it ruins your kidneys. So it absolutely fits into all of the toxic bile paradigm that we're doing. It's probably the most important unknown toxin that we are dealing with. It's more, people have been backing me up on this. Getting the nickel out of your diet is more helpful than low vitamin A. So it doesn't mean we just do one. It means that the nickel is the really important key thing to work on. And that's why they don't like me talking about it. So we got that. Then we have, for those of you who have noticed over the years, the changes in my face, part of it has been mewing. Part of it has been, I was chewing the hard gum for a while, but the other part of it is the Revive mouth guard. So if those of you who want to try the Revive mouth guard, that's their website, getrevive.com. If you wanted to get one and send a little bonus my way, then you can use that link. And then the discount code is detective. That info should be down in the info box below. The Love Your Liver program, my life's work. The nickel stuff is not in it yet. The nickel stuff is here on YouTube for everybody to benefit from. But if you want to go into a place and talk about nickel toxicity that isn't full of a bunch of weirdos like Reddit, the private social network inside the Love Your Liver program is where you can go. And it's a place where trolls are not tolerated and people are working together. And yes, you do have to pay to get in there, but that's what keeps the riffraff out. Think of the Love Your Liver program as a country club versus Reddit as a bus stop. I know which one I'd rather hang out at. So we got that. Then if you want to sign up for my newsletter and get the PDF and I think it's an email series that we send out too, madnessofmodernnutrition.com. That's kind of an intro to my work. If you wanted to send that to somebody to have them read it, to get an intro to what we're doing here, all this crazy stuff we're doing, then that's one way of doing it. Let's see. GLASP. We did a little bit of this today. I highlighted, if you see me highlight studies in any of my episodes and you want to see the highlights or you want to search for things that I might have highlighted, like if you wanted to go and look up what are all the studies that Dr. Smith has highlighted on nickel, you go to this link and you can then type in nickel and it will show you see all those highlights on the right side. It'll show you the study. It'll show you what I highlighted and all that stuff. Okay. So if you're interested in that, that's one quick way. There is also do we have the, Joe, I don't see the search my, transcripts. Anyway, in the info box below this video, a wonderful person made a searchable archive of my transcripts. So if you wanted to search the transcripts of all the videos on YouTube here for terms like nickel or like vitamin A or like what a health condition that you have, psoriasis or whatever, you can plug that into that search engine. I don't have the link right. Oh, there it is. Yeah. I don't think we can see the link on it though. But anyway, that link is down in the info box if you wanted to search my transcripts. So that's there too. Then we have, what else do we have? Oh, here was did I show the Instagram? Anyway, there's the Instagram. Let's see, scheduling a consultation. If you want to work on, like if you saw my hair test last episode and you want to get a hair test and get blood tests and work with our health facilitators, Nathan or Kelsey, and have access, well, potentially the office hours is now a separate thing inside the program. But yeah, if you wanted to do a consultation with one of our people, then that is how you would do that at that link. I have a Substack. It's we post stuff there. I'm for my stuff. If you want the up-to-date stuff, that's here each week on the live stream. That is the most up-to-date stuff. So everything else is kind of behind. So if you were going to watch my videos, I'd suggest you start at the newest one so you understand what we're talking about and then go backwards rather than starting at the beginning and then going forwards. You could do either one, but I'm trying to tell you, if you want to know the newest stuff, start new and go back and then go, oh yeah, he stopped doing that. Like, so that's where, rather than going back and then doing things that I said, and then later on going, oh wait, he kind of moved away from that, like the oats and the beans and stuff like that. That would be a big example. We are adaptive here. We are trying to figure out what is making everybody so damn sick. Okay. And we are chopping away. We are, what do they say? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. We are taking those bites. We are eating the elephant of modern disease. Nickel was an absolutely abominably huge bite of this. It may be the biggest bite, one single bite that anybody could take. So it is very important, but it's also rough. So make sure you watch my nickel episodes before you do it. Let's see. Oh, the Sarah Viao. I want to plug her, Sarah Viao, or Sarah Leilani. Sorry, she goes by Sarah Leilani these days. She does our EMF Solutions stuff. EMF Solutions is the EMF stuff that I use on my phone. I don't have my phone here, but I've got the cord things on all my electronics. I've got the stuff on my laptops. I've got 2 of the phone chips on my phone. And I got the thing out by my smart meter. Yeah, I use their stuff. I feel it. And a lot of other people have felt it. I would highly suggest you can get a free consultation with her. Is that on here? I don't know if we have it on here, but if you want to contact her, if you go to this episode, let's see, this episode that I did on EMF sensitivity and copper toxicity and iron overload and vitamin A and all that stuff, then you can find the information to contact her. I think it's also down in the info box below, and she will help you to decide what you need the most and how to introduce it, because you can start detoxing from using these things because they're taking the stress off your body and your body starts dumping it. Oh, and also nickel is, when we're talking about EMF, electromagnetic frequency, nickel is conductive, which means it's electric, and nickel is magnetic. Nickel toxicity is, El Patron del Paisaje says the EMF solutions make a big difference. Well, thank you for backing me up on this. Then you're gonna be, the EMF solutions can help absolutely with how you are right now. And I'm telling you, fixing the nickel toxicity will make, if you are EMF sensitive right now, I mean, we had been helping fix EMF sensitivity in a lot of people by fixing their iron overload, which is magnetic, by fixing their copper toxicity, which is electric or conductive, and then by fixing vitamin A, which there's literally a paper that I went over in that episode that Joe put up showing that they had frequencies that could induce retinoic acid or vitamin A changes in cells. They could literally, like, in a way, poison cells with vitamin A with frequencies. Gosh, you wonder why I'm worried about what might be happening right now, and why, if we are less electric and magnetic with toxic metals like nickel, copper, and iron, we won't be affected as much by it. Doesn't mean it won't affect you at all, but you won't be as affected as much by it. So that's why I think it's important. Oh, and about the apple pectin. For those of you who don't want to take pills of apple pectin, if you want to eat apples, go ahead. Nobody's stopping you from eating apples. Okay? Yeah. If you want to get your fiber from other places, I'm going to tell you that soluble fiber doesn't do what the alginate does. And that's just in real world observations. So again, if you want to be chintzy or cheap and not do the PectaClear, that's totally your call. Totally your call. If anybody who comes to me who is suffering in the low nickel diet, the first thing that I'm going to tell them is PectaClear. So that's not a debate anymore. Okay? So I'm trying to help you guys. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? Well, we can't prevent the nickel detox. We all got it. The pound of cure, well, we're working on it, and it's going to get there. But so remember, the ounce of avoiding it, the pound, you got to pay more. It's heavier, it's bigger once you have it. So it is what it is. We have a way out of it now. So this was the little bit of a nickel detox update. We did live chat Q&A, and then we did testimonials. This is episode 251. Wait, so what's the next big one? 52 times 5 is 260 is 5 years. Wow. Sergio says, Doc, I love you. Yeah, thank you, Sergio. We are, but yeah, 260 will be 5 years straight without missing a week. So, gosh, I must be doing something to stay healthy. Yeah. So, and as Jackie K was saying, remember to like and subscribe and share and all that stuff, folks. I'm just going to tell you, if you want YouTube to share this more, the more time you watch here, the more they share it. That's what they do. That's what YouTube is here for, is for watch time. They want you to watch. They almost, from what I've heard, they don't really care that much about the likes and the subscribes and all that stuff. They like watch time. So however you wanted to help me with that would be great. And get your friends to follow me on the other social media channels. We are posting shorts and reels. I've been a little behind on it lately. but I'll get back on that. So, okay. Don't forget, we're closing the 20. Let me see that again. Just a quick thing. If you want to get in an order before we close down for a week, you need to have your order in by Wednesday, May 20th at noon, our time, Arizona time. So after May 20th at noon, MST, Arizona time, the orders will be filled on the 28th. Okay. And if you send us emails in that time, we will get back to them on the 28th, Thursday. Okay. So just to give you a heads up, we've sent out 2 email newsletters about this, but we just wanted to tell you here, we're not closing. It's just a break. Okay. So, Phil Carter added, PectaClear is helping a lot. It's not a joke, folks. The PectaClear is the stuff. I cracked the code. I'm going to be like, I should probably be doing lectures for Eco-Nugenics sometime soon because I'm going to sell so much of their stuff. I don't have any affiliate or anything right now, but we will have it in our store. So anyway, okay, I got to wrap this up. I got to get my son. I will see you all next time. Wow, I feel so much better now than when I started. Have a great week. I will talk to you all later. Sergio asked, how is it spelled? I want to do this. Wait, there it is. It's spelled PectaClear, one word, Pecta, PectaClear. And the company that makes it is Eco-Nugenics, ECONUGENICS. So PectaClear by Eco-Nugenics. I would guess that Amazon has it. If not, iHerb probably has it. But Amazon should have it. And you're welcome, Sergio. So I will see you all. And that's, like I said, Sergio, I started my boy on it and his back pain went away. So if your daughter's having issues, I would, I know pills are a problem. My boy won't even take pills. So if they won't take pills, let me say this last thing, folks. If you have kids, the Eco-Nugenics company, they make chewable tablets that are tangerine flavored, or they make PectaSol with a little bit of stevia, and like the lime flavor is like organic lime juice powder and maybe a little bit of lime oil. My son is taking the lime stuff because he's 15, but he doesn't know how to take pills yet. He hasn't worked on that. So he's taking the powder twice a day. Yes, he's taking the stevia one. That's the only stevia he's taking. I'm not worried about it. I'd rather and he's feeling better. I'd rather him take that now, and I'll figure out how to get the pills in him later. Maybe after he gets his braces off, I'll start throwing the PectaClear at him. Or maybe he'll start feeling bad when the braces come out. He'll start dumping, and I'll be like, hey, time to learn how to take pills now. Anyway. Okay. Janet says, I have some metal in my body, so I was wondering if I could detox nickel. I am detoxing, not as wild as some of you, but I think I need to stay on a nickel-free diet. There's no such thing as a nickel-free diet. There's a low nickel diet. If you're doing this right now and you're not feeling good, then just go back and watch this episode and the episode before about the PectaClear and work on that. Okay? So I really got to wrap it up now. I will see you all next time. Have a great week. Hope this helps. This is the key. Okay? Bye now.